大家好，我是 Martin, and this is a Phrase a Day English. Welcome back to the new semester. Today we will learn the phrase to lead someone on, or as you would say in Chinese, 误导,蒙骗. So it means to deceive or mislead someone, make them think that something is true when really it is not. We often use this phrase when we talk about romantic relationships. Sometimes you pretend to like someone to get what you really want, okay? But it doesn't have to be just about romantic relationships. It could be about other things as well. And I can give you 2 example sentences to show you how this phrase is used. Example number 1. All that time, she had been leading him on, but she was only interested in his money. Example 2. I told them that I knew where the buried treasure was, but I was just leading them on. So the first example is an example of a romantic relationship. Leading someone on to get something that you really want. Make them think that you like them, but you really don't. So the woman in the example is really interested in the man's money, not the man. So she pretends to like the man to get to his money. In the second example, I was just tricking someone, making them think that I knew where treasure was, when really I did not. Maybe because I thought it was funny or something like that. Well, if you want more examples of how to lead someone on in a romantic relationship, you can watch the movie Dangerous Liaisons. And I can explain it to you, but it's a little bit complicated, so I'm going to need a diagram. Here is my brief explanation of the movie Dangerous Liaisons. Okay, so you have Glenn Close. Glenn Close is very angry with her ex-husband because he has a new girlfriend, Uma Thurman. And she is very jealous of Uma Thurman. She wants to destroy her. So she asks her nefarious friend, John Malkovich, to seduce her. Well, he refuses, actually, because he wants to seduce someone else. He wants to seduce Michelle Pfeiffer. Because, you know, who doesn't want to seduce Michelle Pfeiffer? Well, Michelle Pfeiffer is not so easily seduced, so John Malkovich, asks his friend, Peter Capaldi, to seduce Michelle Pfeiffer's maid so he can get information. So Peter Capaldi starts leading her on so that he can get access to Michelle Pfeiffer's private letters. From this, John Malkovich learns that Uma Thurman's mother said something very bad about him. So, as revenge, John Malkovich decides to seduce Uma Thurman after all, and he starts leading her on. Now, meanwhile, Uma Thurman, who I remind you is engaged to Glenn Close's ex-husband, falls in love with her piano teacher, Keanu Reeves, and they start a kind of relationship. Well, that makes Glenn Close even angrier, so she decides to seduce Keanu Reeves, and she starts leading him on. Now, there's some sort of weird kind of relationship between Glenn Close and John Malkovich. It's a little bit difficult to understand. I'm not really sure if Glenn Close likes John Malkovich or not, but anyway, they start to hate each other. So, Glenn Close tells Keanu Reeves that John Malkovich is having fun with Uma Thurman. So Keanu Reeves now hates John Malkovich, and they fight a duel. And Keanu Reeves, of course, wins, and John Malkovich dies. And at the end of all of this, Michelle Pfeiffer is so fed up with everything that she decides to join a convent and become a nun. Wow. Don't mess with Glenn Close. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.